just going on. From what little I see, I have contacts in Indonesia, in Pakistan, in India, Australia, New Zealand, South America, Brazil, Argentina, you know, any European country, you mention it, Serbia, Czechoslovakia, all of those, just amazing.
Yes.
It's very offensive to say to somebody, you know, when you're, even though you think you're Jewish, you're not Jewish. That would be more offensive, you know, like.
That is offensive.
That's not the way to do it. We, you know, if you're with us, okay, so he keeps Shabbat his way. Let's be together. Don't come and say, you know, let's create a barrier.
Yes. Only the Torah.
I mean, America is having this huge problem right now with racism. They're racking their national conscience. Like the whites are sort of crippled by this crazy guilt over what their great-great-grandparents did, and the blacks are like furious. It's all just burning up at the moment. It's terrible. Like, America's really going out of their minds. Gay marriage, giving Iran carte blanche to do whatever they want.
Yes.
It's the beginning of the end.
Many people are shocked about the deal.
I don't know what they're shocked about. It's been on the cards for the last few years.
Yes.
We finally got there. What is to be shocked is the most unsurprising thing. I just this morning wrote a commentary about the whole thing. I have I used to send out a regular letter called Letter from Jerusalem, which I've not been doing for the last few months because I have not had time, but I give a sort of Torah commentary on developments. And today I felt constrained to write about this deal, and the title is Surprise, Surprise! It's no surprise at all. It's been going for, you know...
not a surprise, but in shock that they
did it.
I put a picture from the PLO leader, from the Hamas leader, when they have fun. And today I saw a picture from the president of Iran with having fun.
And
I put them together, and because that is the deal. They receive everything what they want to have.
The Shlomo HaMelech at the end of Mishlei, Proverbs, he says, "Vatitzchak leyom Aharon." Israel, the Knesset Israel, the Shekhinah will laugh on the last day. Today everybody's crying, and it's like, this is exactly like Neville Chamberlain letting Hitler go and conquer Czechoslovakia and Poland. Exactly the same.
Yes.
But in the end, this is the final, this is the beginning of the end, you know, like I brought in my commentary today. I've not yet published it, but I was sending out to my mailing list, I hope tomorrow. I brought all the passages in the prophets and the Talmud and the Zohar about the supremacy of Paras at the end of time. It's Jeremiah chapter 49, it's in Ezekiel chapter 38, it's the beginning of Talmud Bavli, Avodah Zarah. It's in, I brought from the Yalkut Shimoni, I brought a very terrible passage from the Zohar, which is not very encouraging because it seems to indicate that Paras could conquer Israel from being for about 12 months,
Yes.
with a lot of people killed. It's explicit Zohar in Bamidbar, Shalach Lacho. I brought all the things in my, if you want to subscribe to the email, you just have to go to my website, letterfromjerusalem.com, and sign on, you'll get it in the mail. If you sign on tonight, you'll get it in tomorrow's mail. I just need to edit it, but I brought everything. I explained how the whole situation now is exactly as foretold by our sages, that Iran is going to knock out Edom, and then Israel will knock out Iran. I brought all your sources, Rashi, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, the Zohar.
You said Iran knock out Edom?
It's explicitly in Jeremiah 49.
What do you mean with Edom?
Well, who is Edom?
Rome?
Well, if you look at the style of the buildings on the Capitol Hill in Washington,
yes,
it's completely Roman, is it not? The symbol of America is the eagle, the symbol of Rome is the eagle. Russia has a big part in all this as well. That's another part of the story. But who populated America? Your fellow Dutchmen, the Germans, the British, French, I mean the Spanish, all Edomites, you know, all practitioners of post-Constantine Christianity. What do you want? Who was Edom? And America, in any case, has not been self-governing. It's under the thumb of the same clique that control Europe and Britain. It's all one, you know. But they're Edomites, you know.
So Iran knocked out Edom,
yeah,
and Israel knocked out Iran.
It will be the Mashiach ben David.
Yes.
The problem is that according to the Zohar, Paras will knock out Mashiach ben Yosef. You know, it's a tradition that Mashiach ben Yosef could get killed, and that Hashem Yirachem. But the Zohar explicitly states that Paras will conquer Israel, they will kill Mashiach ben Yosef, many people will get killed, and then the Malchut will go to Melech HaMashiach and the Kedoshei Elyon, which is the true souls of Israel. I quoted the whole thing in my letter today.
Oh, that's very interesting. So then, when I subscribe tonight, then I have it tomorrow.
You'll get it tomorrow, I hope, yes.
Yes.
I never subscribe people on it unless they want it, but you just go letter from Jerusalem, all one word, letter from Jerusalem.com.
Yes.
And I don't publish these letters on the website because they're too, I really said as it is, I don't hide anything. And I don't want these letters to be, you know, public domain. That's why you can't read them on the website. On the website you have a way to subscribe. You fill out subscribe to the email and you get onto the email, and that way you can receive the, so the only way that people read this is either by some friend forwards them the email, or somehow they find the site. I also have, I can't remember, I used to have a link to Letter from Jerusalem on my Azamra website, but I took it off because the material on Letter from Jerusalem is just too sensitive.
It's where I find it, eh? That's not on Azamra.
I don't think, I seem to remember that I took it off. I can't remember, I think I did. I'll check it out. If you want me, I can subscribe you on Letter from Jerusalem right now from here.
I like it.
Here you go, that's the site, Letter from Jerusalem.
Oh, the website.
This is the website, right. This is the website, but it doesn't have any of the, it has 2 or 3 sample letters that I wrote. You might actually find 1 or 2 of them quite interesting. But the only way to get the current email is to subscribe. If you want, I can do that for you right now. What is your email address?
Moment, I got it here. Yes, here.
Watchman from Israel. So let me just check out what WATCHMEN from Israel at Yaakov.com. Should work. There you go. You should you're on the list.
Oh, thank you.
Forget it tomorrow. Yeah, I started this newsletter over 20 years ago when the first Oslo peace thing, so-called, began, and at that time most Jewish people had not the faintest idea what was going on. Nobody understood, and you know, people outside of Israel were just so naive about what in 1993, 94. So I started trying to write commentary articles on the news because I had been trained as a journalist. I was my first job was as a BBC commentator on world affairs for the World Service. So I've been into current affairs ever since I can remember, and I find that Jewish people, by and large, particularly observant people, are incredibly naive about how things work in the international forum, and don't understand how contemporary events fit in with the prophetic vision of history and where we're headed to. So I've been very interested in recent years in following the clues in the Kabbalistic texts to interpret what's actually happening. And so far it's unfortunately not been working out as I thought. You know.
It can be very interesting when you compare it with the Kabbalistic sources.
Well, this present thing is just gonna, it like raises the stakes terribly. I mean, you're gonna have greatly empowered Hezbollah and Hamas and Assad in Syria and North Korea, and all, you know, this was quite intentional by the world powers. They like, it's exactly what they wanted.
I have the impression that, like, ISIS is created by the West.
Absolutely. Well, you can't rely on anything the media say today, but all the evidence is that Israel and America first trained, and the CIA first trained the ISIS, and that all they're doing now is like cover-ups and pretending. I mean, Obama's a real joke, you know, like he said, well, yes, he's going to send 450 advisors to Iraq to fight ISIS. And where is he, you know, like, because they want this to, I remember many years ago, I quoted this in my article too, there's a very well-known foreign policy advisor to American presidents. You might have heard of him, Brzezinski.
I hear his word. Yeah,
well, he was advisor to Carter, to Clinton, and he has a lot of, as it were, Talmidim, you know, who now make up the main stream of the State Department establishment. Well, I read years ago somebody was saying that his policy was to create havoc in the Middle East. Which is what they're doing, you know. They've got, Iran is now going to get nuclear weapons, Saudi Arabia is going to get, Pakistan is going to get, and it's just going to go crazy here. All they need to do is Iran to send a few nuclear missiles into Syria or to Lebanon. That's all we need.
Yes, I read also somewhere, but I am not a journalist, they created the Second World War. And the outcome of it is that they like to create the Third World War as a struggle between Islam and Israel.
This is what you might call the higher conspiracy theory of history. Well, all I can tell you is that my father lived through the Second World War. My father, Rabbi Shalom, he was born in 1912. And his family came from Poland, but they'd all moved to England. And he grew up in England, and his parents were very poor Polish immigrants into London who worked like 12 to 14-hour days, tailor, sewing, and so on. So he heard all of the political commentary of the very intelligent Jewish tailors when he was a kid. Now he told I used to speak with him a lot about history and the history that he had lived through. And he would emphasize again and again and again to me, countless times, that pre-war Germany was built up by the banking elite. And that they had intended that Germany would smash Russia, but then Germany turned against Britain and France instead. Well, I don't know where he got that from, but as a sort of basic orienting principle to understand how the world works, that was like spot on. Yeah. Who benefits from all this? I mean, arms manufacturers are having a holiday. Great, more nuclear weapons, more research scientists, more jobs, more money. Yeah. Where will it come from? From Iranian oil revenue, from the taxpayers of America and Europe, all, and where will the money go to? Into the pockets of the arms manufacturers? I mean, what could be better? It's like the Satan is really flying around.
Yes.
And the Pope piously says, how can ISIS kill all these Christians? And basically it all carries on and nobody lifts a finger. It's like really satanic. It really is the end of times. I mean, he sure does worship the son of Lucifer. Doesn't make perfect sense.
No, I only tried to show with it that the first Pope, Constantine, created a religion based on his inspiration from the son of Lucifer. And yeah, because that religion is composed out of many religions together.
But I really think that the way to speak to the true souls that can be saved for the Torah is not by making it too difficult by saying don't be a Constantine and don't be this, but rather to put forward the positive message of the Torah. Who is the one God that we pray to? How can we, and what is the appropriate way to serve Him? What should we not do? Not a little statue, but not to make it too heavy. I think one of the reasons why Islam has such a fascination for the West today is because it does provide Western people with a basic matrix of faith, which the academic world and the mass media have been trying to destroy for the last 50 or 60 years. When I was a kid in England, it was beginning. They put onto the national television every sarcastic, cynical, sort of satirist they could, and everything they could do to knock traditional belief, traditional faith, Christianity, values, and now we have a world where men marry men, women marry women, you can say anything you like against anything except Islam, and people are sick of that. There's an element in human beings that is searching for a God, and Islam is a little easier for a lot of people than Christianity is. It doesn't require you to believe in a virgin birth. It does not require you to believe in, one person got resurrected. It does actually grant a place of prophecy to Yeshua, whether Christians like that or not, but it does have a place for him, as it does for Moses. So I can understand that for people who are not actually Jewish or Orthodox Jewish, Islam has a lot to offer in the Western world, and that is why families, kids are, flying off to Syria to fight, from Britain of all places.
Yeah.
Well, I do hope we can continue this collaboration. I'm very excited by what Gadi is doing in India, and I do try to, keep up with correspondence with him.
But I try to find for him that his desire is Jewish rabbis who like to teach, so that they come back to the source.
Right. That's what my goal is, to have here a studio that you can turn it on in a minute. You can already be speaking through Skype or broadcasting live video, audio anywhere in the world. That's not what I'm working towards, and I hope that by October and November I'll be ready to open up and get moving. So we'll keep in touch with Hashem. And I greatly respect and appreciate your seriousness and your devotion to what you're trying to do.
And this, I met them, and I really, in recognizing them, my fellow Israeli, non-Jews, but they belong to the family.
Anybody who responds to what is going on today in the world, against all the propaganda, against Israel, against Jews, against the Talmud, against everything, anybody who sees it and says, oh, that's interesting, that there's a spark in that person which we must respond to. Yes. We cannot afford not to, otherwise we won't have anybody with us. And you know, all of the prophets have taught us that God is sifting all the neshamot to come back home. Yes. And we have the privilege to be part of that. That's what we have to do. To you know, anybody who is that inclined, I think actually that was one of the original messages of Yeshua, was he told his apostles, you be fishers of men, didn't he? He said, you go and fish the souls. And Constantinian Christianity says, you know, if they don't let you, just cut off their heads or torture them until they do. But that's not the way, you know. We have to fish for the neshamot through the authentic Torah. Well, I'm going to ask if we could conclude now.
That's my question. Can you please say the blessing for Ephraim and Menashe?
Ephraim and Menashe. Yisimecho Elohim ke'Ephraim u'ke'Menashe. The whole המלאך הגואל אותי מכל רע, הוא יברך את הנערים וקורא בהם שמי בשם אבותיו ומצוות וידגו לעדרו בקרב הארץ. המלאך הגואל אותי מכל רע, the angel that redeems me from all evil, הוא יברך את הנערים, he will bless the lads, ויקורא בהם שמי ובשם אבותיי אברהם ויצחק, they should be called in them my name, in the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, Yidgula Rov B'Kerav Ha'aretz, they will multiply like fish in the midst of the earth. Ken Yehi Ratzon, Amen.
Amen. Thank you that you give a little bit of translation about the Malach.
Would you like me to say the words a little more clearly, the Hebrew words?